Hey everyone, welcome back to the first tutorial of the year. In this one, I will show you how I modeled this puddle and how I rendered in Cinema 4D and Redshift. If you are ready, let's get into it. Before getting into the tutorial, let me make this image larger so you can take a screenshot. I will add in a cylinder, hit NNB to see the wireframes. Firstly, we can remove the high segments. Also, we can turn off the caps because these are triangles. We do not like triangles. Then I will increase up my rotation segments up to something like 48. Now let's make this editable and close the caps. I will double click on the edge loop. Then select the scale tool, hold down Ctrl, scale this in. Then I will use close polygon hole tool to close the hole. Then I will select the patch mode. Now I will go to the top view because we need to spin that new geometry into the correct orientation. I basically wanted to align these edges with the X and Z. Same here, hit T, scale these in, then use close polygonal tool, go to the top view, change the patch rotation. Let's drop this one into a sub D, hold down Alt, add this one in. Obviously, we are gonna need these supporting edges right around these sharp parts. I will click off its NNA and check my mesh. All right, these are looking quite fine. Now let's try to get these details in the middle. Firstly, we are gonna need some loops right around here so that we are gonna have these sections as smooth as possible. But I will need 2 extra loops so that I can select these area overage and scale these in. These are gonna kind of protect these polygons up and down. So let's select these area overage, Alt and Shift. Unfortunately, I don't know a faster way to select this kind of repetitive edges. If you know, let me know. Okay, now after selecting this, I will store that selection so that we are going to be able to change the shape later. And I will scale this in. I don't want to change the position of these endpoints, so I will lock the y-axis, then scale this in. Nice. Now let's enable sub D. Check the mesh. Yeah, this is coming together, but obviously we need to make these edges sharper. To do that, I will select my mesh again, and this time I will select these edges, the ones that are pushed out. Hold down Shift, select these edges. I will again store that selection. Store selection. I'm gonna call this out, and this one in. Okay, now let's group up the selection. We select group selection. Then I will double click on these edges to deselect them. Then I will use weight subdivision surface tool to make these edges sharper. So let's enable subdivision surface. Grab that tool and weight these edges all the way up. The shading may look weird. You can go to the Phong angle and increase that up. That's gonna fix the situation. Okay, these edges are looking sharper, but we are not there yet. These are looking quite sharp. So I will select my subdivision surface and bring these down to 1. Then I will put this one under another sub D. Now these edges are gonna look like sharp enough. But if you don't like the sharpness that these edges have, we can always go back to this selection tag and use that tool and change the weight on these edges. So that's why I stored these edges. Or you can double click on the first one and scale these edges in or out, whatever you like. We are gonna decide on the look later. First, let's try to get the rough shape. Speaking of that, we need to scale that cylinder up. So I will hit T, go into model mode, scale this on the y-axis. All right, this is looking fine. We should also scale these points as well. Yeah, something like that. Now, if you look closely, I don't know if it's coming true, but I want a better transition between the soft parts and the sharp parts. So in order to do that, I will need more geometry. So I will grab look cut tool and add this one in. It's gonna make the transition just a little bit better. Same here. Okay, now let's twist that around. It's gonna be quite easy. Alt and Shift, go into model mode and add that deformer in. Then, you know, change the angle. So something like that. In order to make this deformer work more efficiently, we should add more geometry to the, you know, puddle. So Alt and Shift, add these new edges in. Now I will select that deformer again. This time it's going to be more flexible to play around with this deformer. For example, I will be able to scale that on the y-axis. So these edges will be curly. Depending on what you want, you can, move that around or scale it down or up. But for us, this is something what we need, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, this is looking quite nice for me. Now let's work on the lid. It's gonna be quite easy. Cylinder, move it up. Yeah, something like that. Let's solo it. I will hit N and B. I will turn off caps, make it editable. Double click, scale is in, close polygon hole tool, rotate that around. Nice. Now I will select all the polygons, extrude tool, but enable caps option. Otherwise, you will get something like that. Turn this on, scale is in, then add some supporting edges to make these edges sharper. Let's drop this one under that subd group. I will group them, turn off solo modes, hit NNA. Yeah, looking nice. I will call this leads and this one puddle. If I add in a cube, we are gonna see that our puddle is huge. So in order to get realistic results, especially in rendering, we need to scale that puddle down to realistic proportions. So I will select that cube and change its size, Y size, to something like 20 centimeters. Then I will grab my null, hit T. By the way, unlock the y-axis, otherwise you are gonna get something like that. Unlock the y and scale that bottle down until it fits into that cube. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then delete the cube and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna hit S to zoom in. Okay, looking nice, but if you don't like the details, thanks to these selections, it's quite flexible to change the look of the bottle. Like I can select that selection, the out one, and I can change the sharpness of these edges with subdivision surface tool and make it softer. Yeah, something like that. Then we can select the other tag and scale these in or out. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for the modeling. Now let's try to model this as fast as possible. Firstly, let me add in a cam. I will enable it. I will set this to something like 100. Then let's go to the coordinates and reset these values. Then go to the top view and move that out. I will rotate this slightly. Then I will hold down Control, drag this off, rotate it, and move it back. Let's go to the front view. Yeah, something like that is going to be enough for us. Then let's jump over to the settings, open that up. Let's flip this 1280. It might be too vertical though, so okay, let's just set this to 180. Then Redshift, I will switch to the advanced one and I will change the secondary engine to brute force. Also, I will lower my progressive passes to 128 so that it's not going to render forever. That's going to be it for the render settings. Let's close this and open up Redshift render view. I will move this away for a few seconds and dock this view here. Then let me zoom in, select cam. Yeah, something like that is going to be enough. Now let's hit render. Let's turn off render and add in the lights, because in the preview, in the 2D view, we are going to get a preview of the reflections of the lights, so we don't have to render immediately. So I will add an area light. Let's go to the top view, hit R, rotate it by holding shift, move it away. First, let's drop a material on the objects so that we can see the reflections. Okay, now that light is supposed to be somewhere here, but I don't want that light to be that close to the bottles, so somewhere around here is going to be okay. I will move this over here. So the other thing about the light is the size of that. It is too big, so I will set this to 100. Then, yeah, I want that reflection on the bottle, so I will grab the light. Let's go to the right view or front view, whatever you like, and make this light longer so that I can see that reflection on the bottle. But I don't want to make it too big, otherwise it's gonna be too strong. Okay, we got that reflection, but it is supposed to be here. So that bottle is looking fine. Now let's look at the one on the right. What I'm gonna do is gonna be the same. Alt and Control, drag this off, rotate this. Then, yeah, this is looking already good. Somewhere around here, looking nice. We got that reflection, and we got that one as well. So let's hit render. Okay, not that bad. We got the shadows quite well. I just don't like that part. If you look at the reference image, that section is quite dark. So let's select that second area light on the right and move it back. Okay. We still have these reflections, and these sections are quite dark. Speaking of dark parts of the image, as you can see, the shadows are too dark, and this is something that we don't want. So that's why I will add in a cube as a stage, so that light will bounce off and make these darker parts a little bit lighter. So add this one in. Let's stop the rendering, turn off the cam, and make this cube editable. So where is my cam? Okay, so I should delete that polygon, that one, and that one. I believe this is gonna give us enough bounce. to make these shadows a little bit lighter. We are going to see. By the way, I want to flip the normals. And I want to assign a simple material on that cube or stage. Let's call it stage. And I will make this white, and I want full roughness. Okay, let's enable the cam and hit render again. Okay, it is a little bit better. I mean, if I make a screenshot and hide it and render it again and take another screenshot, you are gonna see the difference. Okay, let me unhide this one and create another one. I will drop these on the second bottle, which is that one. Delete the original one, and this is gonna be a black, obviously. Then I can tell it by looking at this image. This material has a little bit metallic in it, so I will set this to 0.3 or something like that. Then I believe that material has two layers for its reflections. The first one is the rougher one. As you can see, the spread of the reflection is quite wide. So I will set this to 0.5. Yeah, I want to get that spread. I can go even higher, like 0.6. Then the secondary one is that reflection, the area light is visible. So I will scroll down and increase up the weight of the code. Yes, something like that. This is going to be too much though. Also, I will need some roughness as well, like 0.2. I will select my light on the right and lower the intensity down because it's too much right now. So I will set this to 25. Yeah, now we are getting some good results. I just noticed that the lids are supposed to be sharper, especially the top parts. So let me fix that real quick. Turn off the cam and find the lid. Going into model mode first, double click on the lid because it is under the subdivision surface. Then I will go into polygon mode or edge mode or point mode. It's not important, and add these edges in. Okay, now let's do the same. Two loops. Enable cam and hit render again. Yeah, now these are looking much better. Now let's work on that material, which is on the first bottle. I will open it up. Actually, we don't need to open up the node editor. That section is going to be enough for us. So first thing first, we need to change the color, obviously. So I will make it lighter. Then again, it's going to have some metallic in it, like 0.3, then some roughness, 0.5, and again, I will increase that up. Or we can just copy 0.2 and 0.2. I will do the same. Okay, obviously, the light on the left is too strong. So I will select the one on the left. Let me call this left and right. What about 50? Is it good? I don't know. Let me go back and move this over here. I don't see the reflection on the bottle. So let me select this one and change this color. Okay, it is there. Or maybe we should have applied another material on the lids, which is going to be darker, and it's going to make it easier for us to see that reflection. So let's find that object and put this one on it. It's going to be darker. We can use the color picker and click on here. I will make it a little bit lighter. This time I believe we need to increase these up. Okay, not that bad. I am still not happy with the shadows, so I will grab my stage and Let me see. Let's go into points mode. Select these points and move them up. Let me set this to RS cam. So by doing this, I will get basically more bounces, and it's gonna make these shadows lighter basically. So this is looking fine to me. Now let me select that twist deformer, because if you look closely, this bottle in this image doesn't have these curly lines. So I will hit T, and then I will hit W, then scale that twist deformer up. It's gonna remove these curls. Okay, then the other thing I want to do is scale out these inner edges. I don't think we got the depth right. So I will push out these edges just a little bit, not too much. Yeah, maybe something like that. Then I will select my light on the left and move it back. Yeah, something like that. Now let's play around with the settings of the cam. I will grab it. Then let's go to the color correction and enable tone mapping. It's gonna remove some of the exposed highlights of the texture of the image of the render. It might be too much though, so I will set this to 0.3 or 0.4. So something like that. Then I want some vignettes. This is something you usually do in post-processing, but since we are trying to do that in Cinema 4D, let's just do that. Then I will select a polygon, move it up even further. Now we need to work on the materials, especially this one. So I will double click on this one. It's going to open up the properties of this material, and I will set this to something like 65 or 70. Then I'm going to increase up the roughness. And I think we are going to need more metallic in that material. Then I will scroll down and I will have some more weight for the quads. Then let's open up this material. I will scroll up and make this a little bit lighter, like 50%, or even maybe 65. Okay, now let me make a render region so that I can have an idea about the image quality, reflections, or the shadows. So I will click on that icon. I want to select my left light and lower down the intensity. I know this is gonna make the image quite darker, but I have still more options to alter the exposure of this image. So select the cam, go to the optical and set this to something like 1. Then let's render it again. I'm gonna open up that material. I'm still not happy with the material on it, so let's try to lower down the roughness of it first of all. This is gonna make it more metallic, so let's bring that down to 0.4. Okay, let's try 0.2. Yeah, we are getting there. I believe if I increase up the quad amount, I will have something similar. Yeah, not that bad. And this one, the material I put on the lid, I believe it has some saturation in it, so I will remove it. I will make it just a little bit darker. Let's try 55. Let's zoom out and let's render the whole image. Select that edge and move it down. I will set it to world. Then the next thing I can do is change the cut. of this black material, like point 1. Okay, now I will lastly put a label on the bottle. So let's create a new material and I will look for texture, drag that in, then I will click on that icon, select that image, say no, then I will link that to the color of the material. But this is not going to be enough because I want this material to be a transparent one. So for that reason, I will type in ramp and I will drop that on that connection. Sorry, I will link that back to the color and link that to the alt input of the ramp, and that ramp will be linked to the opacity of the material. Now, in order to make this material transparent, I need to invert this image, which is linked to the opacity. So that's why I added that ramp node. I will right click and click on invert gradient. Now my material will be transparent. Now I will be able to put this one here. It is supposed to be the last one in the stack. I will change its projection to flat. Then I will click on texture mode and scale that down. I will move it here. It is tiling. We don't want that. So I will select my material and disable tile. It's gonna be that easy. Now what about the other bottle? Well, first let's change our camera zoom out just a little bit more, which means that I need to get rid of that edge. I don't want to see it. I will duplicate this material, open it up. This time I will add another ramp, drag that on that connection, and I will invert the gradient. Now my material will look like that so that it's going to be visible on that black bottle. I will do the same, put this one on the second bottle and change its projection to flat, enable texture mode, scale that down and move it somewhere around here, then turn off the tiling, and that's gonna be it. You can also add multiple cams and get different looks. It is up to you, but I am happy with that cam, so let's click on bucket rendering. Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to adjust the twist deformer of the second bottle or the black bottles. I will select it and it's T scale that up. And if I remember correctly, I pushed these edges out just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Now I will render this image. Here I am in Photoshop. Now I will add just a little bit sharpen, unsharpen mask and click on OK. I know that this is going to increase up the noise amount in the image, but I don't know, it kind of lowers the quality of the image, which makes it a little bit more realistic, I guess. I don't know. This is something I like to do with these kind of still images or product images, but as I said, it's up to you. All right, I think it's time to end the tutorial. I hope you liked it and learned something new. If you have any questions, you can let me know. I will see you in the next tutorials. Bye.